My name is Emma. For 3 years, the world believed I was dead. My parents held a funeral with white lilies and my favorite childhood photos. My little brother placed a teddy bear on the casket they buried empty. My high school placed my picture in the yearbook under "In Memory," with the caption, "Gone too soon, forever in our hearts." And somewhere in the middle of the endless ocean, surrounded by armed guards and razor wire fences disguised as luxury resort walls, I watched it all happen on a stolen television in a dimly lit staff room. The signal was grainy, the volume low, but I saw my mother collapse in tears at the service. I heard the pastor say my name like a prayer. I wasn't dead. I was trapped. And the people holding me captive had one unbreakable rule. Nobody ever leaves the island alive. But they made one fatal mistake. They underestimated how badly a 17-year-old girl from a struggling family wanted to get home. I was 17 when everything changed. It was a cold Tuesday evening in our small Ohio town. I remember the exact smell, burnt coffee and my mom's cheap vanilla candle, when the unmarked envelope arrived. No return address. Heavy cream paper. Gold embossed lettering. Emma Thompson. You have been personally selected for the Meridian Elite Internship Program. A luxury internship. Private flights. World-class mentors. Chance to meet CEOs, senators, and tech billionaires. Full scholarship, housing, and a $10,000 stipend. For a girl whose family could barely afford groceries some months, it felt like God had finally looked our way. My mother cried happy tears at the kitchen table. My father, who worked 2 jobs and still came home exhausted, told everyone at the auto shop, "My daughter's going places." I ignored every red flag. The application had come out of nowhere. I didn't remember applying. The interview was over Zoom with a woman whose face stayed in shadow. The contract had pages of NDAs and fine print I barely read. Because when you're young and desperate, hope screams louder than caution. The private jet arrived on a Friday morning. The crew smiled too perfectly. The other passengers, mostly girls around my age, were polite but quiet. The leather seats felt like butter. Champagne was offered. I declined. We flew for hours. Then the plane descended toward an island that wasn't on any map my phone could find before they confiscated it. That's when the first real fear hit me, like ice water down my spine. But by then, it was already too late. The island looked like paradise. Turquoise water so clear you could see fish swimming 20 feet down. White sand beaches that felt like powdered sugar under bare feet. Luxury villas with infinity pools overlooking the ocean. Palm trees swaying gently in the warm breeze. From a distance, it was the cover of a travel magazine. Up close, it was a beautifully decorated cage. Security cameras watched every angle. Guards in crisp white uniforms carried weapons that didn't look decorative. The tall gates closed with a heavy hydraulic hiss every night. Boats that brought supplies never stayed after sunset. The other girls. They were the most haunting part. Some were like me, new arrivals with nervous excitement still in their eyes. Others had been here longer. Their eyes were hollow. They moved like ghosts. They spoke in whispers or not at all. When I asked a girl named Sophia what was really going on, she grabbed my wrist so hard it bruised. "Stop asking questions, Emma. Trust me. You don't want to know." Her voice trembled. That night, lying in my silk-sheeted bed inside a villa that cost more than my parents' house, I felt the first real wave of dread. Something was deeply wrong here. And my curiosity, my stubborn, dangerous curiosity, was about to drag me straight into hell. 3 weeks passed. I played the perfect intern. Smiled. I attended the fake leadership seminars. I pretended not to notice the guards watching us constantly. But something about the main mansion bothered me. The floor plan didn't make sense. A long hallway on the east wing ended too abruptly. A wall in the library was suspiciously thick. A staircase on the blueprints I secretly photographed led to nowhere. There was a hidden room. Every night I lay awake thinking about it. What were they hiding? Weapons? Money? Something worse. Then came the stormy evening. Rain hammered the roof like bullets. Lightning flashed so bright it turned night into day. The power flickered. Cameras went dark for exactly 47 seconds. I'd been counting. My heart pounded so hard I could hear it in my ears. I slipped out of my villa, barefoot, drenched within seconds. I moved through the shadows, every footstep feeling like it might be my last. The hidden door was slightly ajar. I stepped inside, and what I found changed everything. Rows of filing cabinets, secure servers humming in the dark, walls covered with photographs, hundreds of names, powerful men, politicians, billionaires, celebrities, judges, photographs of them on this island, with girls, doing things that made my stomach turn, documents detailing payments, blackmail material. This wasn't just a prison. This was a hunting ground for the world's most powerful predators. The island didn't protect secrets. The secrets protected the island. My hands shook so violently I could barely hold the flash drive I grabbed. I copied everything I could in the dim emergency lighting. As I backed out of the room, thunder crashed so loud it rattled the walls. I thought I was alone, until I heard footsteps behind me. Heavy, deliberate, ran. The next morning, alarms screamed across the compound. Guards tore through every room. They flipped mattresses. They smashed lockers. They strip-searched girls in front of each other. I hid the flash drive in the sole of my shoe, wrapped in plastic. Every step reminded me of the death sentence I was carrying. Fear became my constant companion. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. Every knock on the door made me flinch so hard my muscles ached. Every time a guard looked at me longer than usual, I was sure they knew. Then one night, a folded note slid under my door. 4 words. I know it's you. I didn't sleep for 2 days. Was this the end? I expected betrayal. Instead, I found hope. Her name was Lila. 24. She'd been here almost 4 years. She had sharp eyes and a quiet strength that made me believe escape was possible. She'd been planning for a long time. She knew guard rotations. She knew blind spots in the camera coverage. She even knew the ocean currents. But when I showed her what I'd found, her face changed. We can't just run anymore, Emma. The world needs to know what they're doing here. Stealing more proof meant breaking into the most heavily guarded building on the island, the Central Records Vault. It was suicide. But staying silent felt worse. We planned for weeks. Every detail. Every second counted. The night came. Torrential rain. Thunder that masked our footsteps. Lightning that could expose us at any moment. We moved like shadows. My heart was in my throat the entire time. Lila's hand was steady on my shoulder. Inside the vault, we found more than we imagined: videos, client lists, offshore accounts. Enough to bring down empires. I was copying the final files when the alarm shattered the silence. Red lights. Sirens. Shouting. They knew exactly where we were. The chase was pure terror. We ran through jungle so thick it tore our clothes and skin. Searchlights cut through the trees like blades. Dogs barked so close I could hear their snarls. Gunshots echoed in the night. Run, Emma. Don't stop. Lila screamed. I fell. Twisted my ankle. Pain exploded up my leg. Lila pulled me up. We're getting home. Both of us. We reached the northern shore, lungs burning, bodies bleeding. The small maintenance boat was there. The engine wouldn't start. Once. Twice. 3 times. I was crying. Praying. Ready to die. Then, it roared to life. We sped into the black ocean as bullets hit the water around us. I looked back at the island one last time, glowing like a false paradise in the storm. We had made it out. But the real fight was only beginning. 3 days later, dehydrated and barely conscious, we reached the mainland. Authorities didn't believe us at first. Until we showed them the drive. Then everything exploded. Headlines. Arrests. Congressional hearings. The island was raided. Powerful men fell. My parents held me for hours when I finally came home, sobbing like children. My little brother didn't recognize me at first. I was alive. But pieces of me stayed on that island. Certain sounds, the click of a lock, distant thunder, the hum of a boat engine, still send me into panic attacks. Nights are the hardest. The nightmares feel so real I wake up screaming. Yet every single morning, I force myself to look in the mirror and say the words they tried to erase. I'm still here. They stole 3 years of my life. They tried to make the world forget me. Instead, I survived. And now I'm telling my story. Because sometimes the greatest revenge isn't violence. It's refusing to stay silent. It's standing up and saying, I'm still here. And I always will be.